road, y'all. What is happening, ladies and gents? What's happening? What's going on? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin podcast. I'm your host, your friend, your homie, Arrington Gavin, coming to you on this great day. This is actually, I am pre-recording this episode, so it's actually Saturday. But again, you are tuning in to this show on Monday. So as of right now, while you guys are probably watching this, I will be on the road. I'm heading to uh, uh out of town to a cousin's wedding. So it's going to be a very exciting trip with my wife and I, and we're just going to have a good time. But I want to make sure to still give the great content, give the people what they want, and that's some great content and continue consistency with the Arrington Gavin podcast. This is something I always enjoy doing, where I get the opportunity to just sit down, chop it up with my friends, you, the listeners, the viewers. I truly appreciate those who are faithful supporters of the Arrington Gavin podcast and just faithful supporters of my brand, Rugged Evolution, and our Smooth Club Media. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, be sure to our Smooth Club Media on YouTube. Subscribe to me on Instagram at Arrington Gavin. What else? My business, Rugged Evolution Beard Care, Rugged Evo on IG, and our Smooth Club Media as well as on Instagram. Really, all social medias, Threads, X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook. You'll find us. So again, I truly appreciate it. Coming to you. It's a Saturday evening time right now. So as you see, I got a little beverage in my hand. I'm gonna be sipping while I'm while I'm doing this episode. And if you're curious, I am a brown drinker, mostly brown. I like brown and tequila. Can't do vodka, man. Can't do vodka. Vodka's disgusting. It is extremely disgusting. But I don't pass around on a drink. If I have to have vodka, I'm literally gonna have like a pinch vodka and like that much pineapple juice or cranberry juice. Mixed drink with vodka. I'm not crazy. If anybody that drinks vodka straight, I pray for you. And I'm pretty sure you need to, go and get help because that's disgusting. But I am sipping on yeah, just a simple what is this? Grand Marnier. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It's like a cognac with a hint of orange. It's pretty tasty. I was recently at a Bill Bellamy comedy show, and he towards the end of the show, the guy said, "Hey, can you hook me up with a drink?" Because towards the end, he knows he's about to close it off. It's his last show of the evening, and he says, "Grand Marnier." And I'm like, "Why have I heard that? Why does it sound so familiar?" So I looked at my bar, I'm like, "Oh shit, I have it." And actually, I took it from my parents' stash. So it's pretty tasty. My dad was like, "Here, you can have it, you can have it." So I'm like, "Okay." It was like halfway finished. It's actually pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Yep. It is smooth. It is very smooth. Um, I've just been chilling in the house today because we're kind of under like a storm watch. So did all my work from the house, which is always great because you get to catch up on your rest, binge watch some TV shows or movies, however you want to do it. I recommend y'all have to make a time for yourself. Make sure that you do always have to just have that moment just to breathe. If you have to keep your phone on silent or turn it off, and just text the special people in your life, "Hey, look, I'm just gonna not answer the phone. I'm just gonna take a breather today. So I'm gonna just binge watch, get up when I want to, shower when I want to." Luckily, I did shower, guys. I smell fresh. I didn't like hold on to the funk. The funk said, "No, you gotta take a shower." So I made sure I took a shower. So yeah, it's been like really a kickback, catching up on some work and house chores, and just relaxation with the fam. So I'm very just relaxed and excited to be chopping up with you. What is on the agenda today? Okay, a few things I'm actually talk about today. I'm gonna talk about the NFL, man. NFL and all these damn brawls that they have. Not in the game, but I'm talking about in the stands. Have y'all seen all these crazy brawls happening? Uh that's going to be on the first one. I'm actually going to stay in sports for a little bit, talking about Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas kind of shared his thoughts and opinions on a fellow Hall of Famer on how much he charges for like practice lessons, like one-on-one practice lessons, pretty much. Also, I'm gonna be discussing or talking about a recent Miss Universe contest that happened. It's actually having a lot of a lot of people are talking about it. So I'm gonna talk on that and then finish it off with another politician switches political parties while he's still in office. So, well, while they are still in office. So, that's gonna be pretty much on the agenda today. And I'm gonna just get it going, starting off with the very first one. Oh, also, guys, I can't forget the Arrington Gavin podcast presented by our Smooth Club Media is uh presented by, well, I kind of said that twice. Well, I gotta thank our sponsors, Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Okay, Rugged Evolution Beard Care, an all natural men's grooming line. For more information, go to their website at ruggedevo.com. They're also available on walmart.com, amazon.com, etsy.com, many online retailers. And it's gonna be a great one. There we go. Had some difficulties and minor technical difficulties right there. But yeah, they're on multiple online omni-channel sites, online retailers, a few local retails in the Hampton Roads area. If you are in that area, you can check it out. What else? What else? uh North Carolina, a few local retail I can't get my words out, man. Might be the brown liquor. A few selected stores in the Raleigh Durham area, North Carolina. So it's a black owned businesses that's continued to growing and has been great, having great thrives. They've been featured in S's magazine, just to name one, major magazine, and Philadelphia magazine, Coastal Virginia magazine. So it's a great business. So again, we thank them for supporting and sponsoring this the Arrington Gavin podcast. Okay, now let's get it going with the first story on the agenda that I want to share with you all. Yeah, these brawls, okay? These brawls happening at NFL football games, happening in the stands. If we've seen it literally in almost every single team, there's around 30, I think I want to say there's 32. I could be wrong, but 32 NFL teams in the National Football League. I could be wrong, but I know there's over 20. And just play it safe. Uh and almost every single home game, they're having like brawls in the stands. Brawls in the stands. I mean, recently, I believe a gentleman lost his life at a New England Patriots game. I did not see. They showed they showed kind of a few angles of the clips on social media and online at different news sites of how the fight occurred, or just what possibly could have happened. But yeah, a gentleman lost his life. This one I have pulled up right here is a brawl that happened at a 49ers game, and this is reported by KTLA channel 5. It has here a large fight erupted in the stands at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara during the Thursday night's NFL game. Now, the San Francisco 49ers were taking on the New York Giants when a group of the so-called Niner gang turned on each other. The video posted by at T_Stevenson1 on X shows what appeared to be a fight between two women when a male bystander grabbed the hair of one of the females and pulled her down. Okay, another man then tried to get involved in the fight and ended up getting punched and kicked by the bystanders. Security guards arrived and controlled the situation at that point. But again, y'all, the big question is, should the NFL or should some of these sports organizations in the NFL have more stricter, I guess, rules or policies for their fans? And basically, what can they do to prevent it? Now, in all honesty, some of these stadiums hold almost 100,000 people in one stadium. That being said, I've been to a few professional football games. You might have, you have security surrounded. You might have, of course, the state police participating in that. Security is at every kind of like section where they arrive in. This is, I would just say, security cannot outnumber the people in the stadium. Okay, they cannot outnumber all the people in the stadium. Could there be some policy, some rule? Yes and no. So, okay, one thought process that went through my head was, well, is it worse that does it make it worse the fact that there's alcohol involved? Okay, does it make it worse that alcohol is involved? There are so much access to getting boozed up at sporting events. Now, even if they don't even do it at the sporting event, there's people that arrive at the game wasted because, come on, let's be real. The traditional, you got the tailgates going on before the game even starts, and then if they do arrive uh inside the stadium and they're just chilling before the game starts, I mean, it's a party. It's a tradition. I mean, a lot of these games are on weekends anyway. People are coming off of a long work week. They're looking forward to this. They enjoy themselves, but in all honesty, when someone gets pissed off, it generates their anger level a little more higher than if they were sober. Now, I'm again not saying this is just alcohol will be the, if you take that away, that will be the saving grace of all these fights. No, it wouldn't, because for one, that's not going to happen, because look at all the sponsorships, that all the money that these sports organizations will lose if they try to prohibit alcohol or even like give them a limit on alcohol. No, they want that money. They want people to get drunk, get pissy drunk, because that means you're going to keep on spending money in my stadium. Okay, more money for the sponsors. No, we're going to keep that going. We're not getting rid of that. Also, there's brawls that occurs at high school and little league games. Those people are not drunk. Those people are not intoxicated on alcohol. So you can't say that, okay, maybe they can do so. Maybe it's the alcohol. No, it's not. Another avenue that you can say, okay, maybe this could be a solution. If anybody causes, or any brawls that occur at an NFL or professional sports a game or at a facility, high consequences on the as far as on crime. Like, continue giving them a warning before game, during halftime, during timeouts on the jumbotron, so people can really understand, like, look, don't want to do this because you might be locked up for quite a minute. You never know. You never know what they're thinking of. But in all honesty, I don't think this is something that can be cured, y'all. I really don't think this is something that can be cured. Uh if you have an idea of it, or if you have any solutions, please leave a comment, DM me uh at my social, or leave a comment uh on our YouTube channel. But I really don't think that this is a solution that can help stop a lot of the, I mean, do you want to double up on security? I mean, it really is. You're really at a lost cause, because the fight brawls have been occurring for years. This is almost, it's a part of it's a part of the sports tradition. Really, you have the trash talking amongst different opposing teams, but in this case, it was actually the same squad. But I mean, the fact of the matter, it's not just men; there's men and women getting into it. And I mean, again, a life was lost. I feel as though there's more brawls happening in this NFL season, because really the NFL is just on excuse me, they're still in the beginning seasons of the start of the season. It's only been maybe like week 3 or 4. I could be wrong, but there haven't been like that many games into the season to be having all these brawls. I feel like there's so many. Every time there's a game, I'm like, oh, here's a brawl, here's a brawl, here's a brawl. And it's sad. It really is sad, y'all, because I truly think the fact of the matter is, people in America now are just so damn impatient. They are so impatient. And just the anger level right now, man, is is on a high. The love and peace vibe is really slowly but surely going away because there's so much. I mean, we have road rage incidents, we have arguments with simple things. I'm talking like at the grocery store. Hey, I picked this first, I picked that first, and then it ends up to be a brawl. I mean, it's really childish and it's sad. It's really childish and sad, and it's what's even more, it's more scary to the fact that now I can't speak for like at at sporting events, but I'm just gonna say, like, if you're at a regular place, regular setting, whether you're at the grocery store, a restaurant, um, places that don't that do not prevent people from, like, say, bringing certain items. What I mean by, okay, boom, you have somebody that's a gun owner, right? You have somebody that's a gun owner. They arrive at a location. They're doing their regular routine at the grocery store. They're at a restaurant. They have their arm on them, and all of a sudden they get into an altercation or argument. Then boom, a gun is drawn. Or better yet, if the gun is not even drawn, but it goes off while they're fighting. You see what I'm going with? You just gotta be careful, y'all. And really, people, is fighting ever gonna cause anything? No, it's not. I answered it for you that quick. No, it's not. Like, I hate even having verbal arguments with people, because in all honesty, sometimes arguing is uh uh never going to cure anything. But I hope that the NFL, I hope that NFL organizations and other professional sports organizations, semi-pro, professional, I hope that they do have a a idea or something about something in mind of a way to stop this stuff, man. They really do. And I even throw this in there before I move on to the next story. I will say this. Which I want to ask you this question. Which sporting event has the most incidents when it comes to fights at their sporting events? Is it football? Is it basketball? Is it soccer? Is it baseball? Which sporting events? And I just really named those few, because as far as like the top American sports, you got football, basketball, baseball. Soccer is not really huge popular U.S. It is now, I guess, since Lionel Messi's playing for, I believe, a squad out in Miami, Florida. But which sporting event has had the most brawls at? I'm curious. I really am curious. But we will continue with hearing more about this, because I'm pretty sure that there's going to be another incident of fights, of a brawl happening at a sporting event. And if so, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about these folks. Uh let's see here. Let me move on to the next story. By the way, at the moment I have now, again, this is a pre-recorded episode that I'm doing right now, y'all. So by the time this goes out, new things will come out of the woodworks and stuff. But right now it's Saturday, and I have on the TV uh uh Oregon and Colorado, University of Colorado. Not gonna lie, the way the score is looking right now, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. So I'm definitely gonna try and talk a little bit about this on the next show. Just to, again, to share my thoughts on the outcome of the game, how the season now is looking for University of Colorado. Well, hey, look, the game is not over yet, but like I said, it ain't looking pretty. So I'll just leave it at that. But let me move on to my actual story that I want to share with you all. Okay. Former former NBA star Gilbert Arenas recently shared his thoughts about Hall of Famer Hakeem Olajuwon. Okay, so Gilbert Arenas went on a viral rant this earlier this month against the Hall of Famer because he had an issue with Olajuwon reportedly charging $50,000. You heard that right, $50,000 to host private workouts with NBA stars. Now, Gilbert ripped Olajuwon for being old and supposedly out of touch with the modern day game. Now recently, another former NBA star turned response to Arenas in an appearance on Sirius XM NBA radio. Ralph Sampson addressed Arenas' rant about Olajuwon and especially told Arenas to sit down and shut up. Gilbert, this is coming from his words, Gilbert, I respect his game to whatever degree, but when you try to compare that to the dream, Hakeem Olajuwon, big man back in the day, the skill set and the footwork that Hakeem had. Arenas needs to go back and look at some more film because I don't think he really knows what the hell he's talking about. Let's see. You got to understand that footwork and the game today is all about footwork. Sampson continued. It is not about post up moves anymore, but if you can use a post up move, you might do good. Today's game is different. We knew, but go back and do your homework before you open your mouth. Now, I'm going to speak on both sides on this one. So I'll speak first in defense of Gilbert Arenas. Now, Gilbert stated that Hakeem, there's so many decades that basically I'm gonna say Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm trying to see when the last time he played. Give me 1 second. Hakeem Olajuwon currently is 60 years old. Last time he played in the NBA was last time he played was 02. Now, from 84 to 02, that's when he played professional basketball, two-time NBA and two-time NBA Finals champion, and two-time NBA champion as well. What Gilbert had said was the fact that there's so many decades that you missed out on since retirement. The game has changed since your era. So in order for you to saying, okay, look, you're gonna charge $50,000 to these NBA stars, bro, you're just trying to take their money because you probably didn't get that kind of paper back then. So now you're gonna try and make up on some of these young bucks. It ain't fair. It's crazy. I wouldn't pay no $50,000 for a private private session. That's coming from Gilbert's words. Now, when Gilbert had first when he when he first shared his thoughts on this, I'm like, well, 50,000 is a lot for a private session, but again, Hakeem Olajuwon is one of the most recognized NBA stars in the league. A lot of the greats, you will always hear them mention Hakeem Olajuwon. Hell, Michael Jordan, one of the greatest of all times, will toss in Hakeem Olajuwon. If you give everybody their top 5 or either top 10, most likely they're going to put Olajuwon in that. So in that case, players, for one, know the status quo that they're trying to match up in their careers. If Hakeem is saying, look, I'll work out with you, stuff like that, but for a fee. Now, in all honesty, if you're talking about some of the top tier professional basketball players right now, these contracts, man, 50 grand is not kicking them in the butt. It's not. It's not. Now, I don't know for how many sessions this is. I don't know if this is for one private session. I don't know how many hours is involved in this session, but there's some players that will spend 50K on just a piece of jewelry, just a sport for one game. So let's be real, they toss out that cash like that, like it's nothing. So 50K, I don't think would really hurt them. Now for the rookies, for the players that don't have those big money contracts, that's a lot of money because they have to do all they can to save their cash. In that state, I see where Gilbert is coming from. Gilbert is saying, for one, bring the price down a notch, buddy, because during your era, the money wasn't like that for these guys now. So I feel as though you're just raising that price up because they're taking they're taking, they because their contracts are that high now. You're like, okay, look, my price gonna go up even higher. I'm gonna charge out because I know they have it. So you're taking advantage. That's really where Gilbert is coming from on that state. Like, I feel as though you're taking advantage of these young guys. And again, your game that you're probably teaching will not work out in today's current game. It won't. That's where Gilbert is coming from. Now I'm gonna move on to the opposite end of Gilbert. Gilbert Arenas, I believe, played 10, 13 years, very successful guy. Great career. He's had some complications in the league while he was playing there and stuff like that, which kind of, I think, hindered his career and kind of his name in a sense. But Gilbert has had his podcast out for quite some time, and he is known for being controversial. A lot of things he will say that's controversial brings likes, brings attention, brings viewership numbers to his show, to his podcast. So I see where he's coming from on that aspect, because he's like, hey, look, let me get some views. Let me say this wild shit, and it will garner some attention, more eyes on my page. That's one. Two, as a business owner, and I know with my career, what I have done in this industry. So for one, my career should have a price tag on it. Two, if I'm going to look at the clientele that I'm catering to, if my clientele are making, 7 figures at minimum, just in the league, not even talking about how much outside investments that they're making, outside money that they're making outside the league, but if they're making a minimum of 7 figures, and I am willing to use my time as a retired athlete that is doing a lot, because Hakeem Olajuwon, he's not just sitting back on his tail not doing nothing. He's being like an ambassador representing his home country. He's doing great partnerships outside since he's been retired from the NBA. Great stuff. Very busy man. I'm good. I have a family also that needs to eat. I have a legacy also that needs money. So at the end of the day, he's being a smart businessman, because he knows his demo. He knows the clientele base that he's catering this product to. And in a sense, who cares? Why should you care for what I'm trying to make? Okay, you're always having an issue with somebody. You always gotta rant your mouth on something. Mind your business. That's what I think, as far as in defense of Hakeem Olajuwon to Gilbert Arenas, and vice versa. Now, Ralph Sampson, he's saying nothing but the truth. But again, Ralph Sampson played in that era of what Hakeem Olajuwon. So again, he's defending a player from his side. Now, you're always going to have the debates on which era was tougher, which era was better. This new age, or during my era, it was a whole different route. Which one is better? If you gathered all the players in their prime from that era, compete against the current players, who would win, right? Who would win? And it's always just a great mindset. You can see it now on like the video games, because they still have some of the legendary players that you can play as, and all the 87 Chicago Bulls or the 90 something Chicago, they have that going against the 2000 Lakers and this and that and the other, because people want to see the comparison. But in all honesty, I don't find really a big deal about this. I see it as a legend that is willing to share his time with money. Now, again, and maybe this is just like the nice guy in me, I would really not charge if you're just willing to see somebody continue to to push and really give them advice. That's another thing. But the fact that has a whole system of like, oh no, you want to train with me, you gotta charge, you gotta pay for it. It's typical. He's being a businessman. I don't have any issues with that. No issues whatsoever with that. Now, in that case, I will be moving on, people, Let me grab a quick swig of my delicious beverage. Alrighty. So this story actually made me laugh because I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This is okay. I did not know that it was really any white people in Zimbabwe. So recently, the 2023 Miss Universe Zimbabwe just crowned their new Miss Universe. This lady was a white woman who won, and she was crowned Miss Zimbabwe. Now Zimbabwe, I was looking up some research. Zimbabwe is 98% black. 98%. Not a nay, not a one won this show. Now, the winner's name is Brooke Jackson, hyphenate Jackson. A white woman was crowned Miss Universe Zimbabwe. She's a native of, I can't even pronounce that word, Harar, the country's capital. The 21-year-old model was a runner-up. The 21-year-old model's runner-up were black women. Two of them were black women. She wrote after she won, "I have gave this crown for our beautiful country to love and to serve our people, to represent Zimbabwe internationally, and to show the world the uniqueness of Zimbabwe and Zimbabweans. She hoped to be an example to grace and inspiration for the youth, providing blah, 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 blah. Yes, we know how this thing goes. Okay, but Brooke has not been shown much grace from outraged natives who believe a black woman should have been crowned. The country boasts a population of more than 14 million, with non-black people making up roughly 2%. Dang. I mean, this is tough. So I can see the frustration of, I guess, natives. I can see how social media is going ham on this. But in all honesty, think about it this way. She is the minority in that whole entire country. She is the minority. So in a sense, is this history being broken right now? Is she making history as the first white woman to become be crowned Miss Universe Zimbabwe? Like think about it. Like that's no, I feel like that's no different from, like, say if we were here in the United States. Well, I feel like that's different because Miss Universe here, you have it's a multicultural of nationalities and ethnicities here in the United States. But let's just say, okay, let's just say Miss. I'm gonna just pick a city that's predominantly black. Miss Atlanta. I'm just making up a contest right now, but say Miss Atlanta. They are. I feel as though Miss Atlanta is majority black city. Miss Atlanta always has a black person in office, and or in winning. All of a sudden, they have one that's a non-black. Now, it's gonna raise some eyebrows, but again, like, when has there ever been a person that is of non-African American to I'll just go back to the Zimbabwe. When has there ever been a white person to be crowned Miss Zimbabwe? They don't mention it, which I think this is the very first time. Now, this has been an eye opener because, again, and I'm not trying to joke, I didn't know white people lived in Zimbabwe. I will be honest. Zimbabwe is one of the blackest parts in Africa. I never knew there was not a one piece of vanilla in Zimbabwe. I did not know. But now I do. And I feel as though white people will be like shocked, like, oh, I did not know this. This was new. Like, so it's very interesting. It's very interesting. But again, people are sharing their frustration, and I think that's kind of rude and petty because at the end of the day, this girl, said, "Hey, look, I want to represent Zimbabwe and all Zimbabweans because I'm a native. I'm a native. I'm from this. This is my home too. I'm from here." So I think that people have to realize is that Zimbabwe is probably is starting to get more diverse. I mean, it's very minimum, but think of in politics, y'all. Think of the moment where Obama became president. Like, just literally think about it. If we never would have experienced, and I say we as black people and people of color, if we would have never witnessed a minority, a black man be in office, like just imagine all, like, what would it be? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there were people that weren't even Democrats that said, no, I gotta see this, I gotta see this. And then people that didn't even support Obama but was excited of seeing this whole thing, occurring. Right now, I think it's a difficult reaction because if you look at, in the history books, between African American people and white people, it's not like they want to say, "Oh, she made history." People are not showing that kind of love in Zimbabwe. I mean, you see it right now. That's why it's a most talked about conversation. But I would say this: congratulations uh, to Brooke Burt Jackson. I don't see issue really. I really don't. And I mean, I'm different from some people, and I hope I don't get any bad looks with this, but I'm just saying, like, hey, this girl competed just like everybody else competed. She ended up winning. I don't know how many white people have won this award, and she might be the first. I don't think people should get all salty and petty about it. Okay, again, she's the native there. She met the requirements to even compete in there. If they had an issue, then they probably, I mean, again, they voted for her. She was crowned. She won fair and square. Moving on to the final story I want to bring up, y'all, because I like to talk a little politics. I'm a political junkie. Okay, so this just in recently, Dallas mayor switches parties to join the GOP. Dallas, Texas mayor Eric Johnson announced that he recently announced that he is switching parties and will serve as a Republican affiliate mayor of the blue-leaning city. Now, Dallas, Texas is probably one of the largest, might be the largest city in the state of Texas. He has served, I believe this is his second term or second time serving as mayor for the city. And one thing that I'm noticing is really this past year, there's been a lot of party switches, party affiliations that are just like, they're saying, okay, I'm gonna switch out. I'm not gonna be involved with this. You have people either Republicans becoming independents and leaving the Republican Party. You have people that are Democrats that are becoming independents. You have Democrats that are switching over to Republicans, and vice versa. Like, there is a lot. I will say I have yet to see a Republican in, like, pretty recent go to the Democratic ticket, but I've seen them go independent. It's interesting. It's always interesting because you always want to know what is the agenda for this politician, right? For me, I have friends that work in local, state, and even on a national level when it comes to political office, and just having the conversation with them. I've spoken with some that are people that are, like, say, some of my friends that are politicians that are represent the Democratic Party. They will say this. They will say, look, people always assume that it's always Democrat against Republican. In all honesty, sometimes it could be Democrat against Democrat. We have some of our most toughest arguments and disputes within our own party. So in a sense, is that one of the reasons why a lot of people do choose to leave their party? Or again, I look at it like this. Do not, if you want to switch over parties, do it when you're not holding office in a position. Because here's what I think is a little untruthful. You got voted into that position as a Democrat. Democrat has voted for you. Democrats of the city of Dallas voted for you because they said, okay, no, he's the guy that needs to run this city. They voted for you. Now seeing you switch while you have that position to another side, it's kind of like backstabbing, in my opinion. If I was running for office and I ran as a one, whether if I ran as a Democrat, ran as an independent or Republican, regardless, I'm running to represent I'm representing the people, but I'm also representing the party that I stand for too. I could not switch while in office because, again, to me it's untruthful. Let's be real. People are already not feeling politicians right now because there's so much corruption and greed that going on. I think recently, a senator from New Jersey just I believe either charged or not charged, but they found like bribery that him and his wife they accepted all these bribes, man. I mean, that's something that's like not new when it comes to politics. Here's the thing: politicians are supposed to be servants for the people. They're supposed to serve the people, not serve themselves, not align their pockets and don't get stuff done in office. That's why so many people can't stand politics right now, and nor can they stand politicians. Now, I've been fortunate to meet the genuine people that do mean what they practice, what they preach, and they are trying to build up their community. They are trying to make some changes happen, right? I've interacted with people that I'm like, okay, this dude is just doing it for the attention, or this girl is just doing it for the credentials and all the easy access to certain spots. Like, I have seen them front and center, and it's not fair, man. It's not. So when I, to say all that, when I hear about a person that's already holding a position that's in office, I don't think it's right. I know Kristen Sinema is a senator from Arizona. She's currently in office. She just left the Democratic Party. She's now a registered independent. Tulsi Gabbard out of Hawaii. She was I believe, a congresswoman. And now, well, she's a former congresswoman, and she ran for president at a while back as a Democrat. And now she has announced that she is leaving the Democratic Party. Now, I think she's an independent, but in my opinion, she's more leaning on the conservative side, because she has been which is nothing wrong with it, but she's been a regular contributor for Fox News, and she was like that as a Democrat. But every time they brought her on, she was always bashing her party as a Democrat. So I'm like, is there anything nice you can say about the team you represent, or is it always going to be like that that bashing of your party? What's the deal? What's the deal? So I kind of already saw that coming, because there was nothing ever positive to say. She was always going to mostly conservative media outlets, sharing her thoughts on what she had issues with the Democratic Party. This is why she was still a Democrat. Now, again, I truly believe that regardless of who you are affiliated, you have to always not just say, okay, I'm gonna always do media on the side that always agrees with me majority. No, you have to talk on all sides. But she was always doing the opposite. Then she started to endorse very, 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 in my opinion, far right leaning candidates in high positions in office. I'm like, that's a little odd. Now, again, y'all, I'm a registered independent myself. I don't go with the herd. I could care less on both ends, because at the end of the day, I feel as though everybody agrees majority on things, and we're not like hey, we're not on the Republican side, we're not on the Democratic side. We're aligned in the middle, because you trust to believe we can find more things we agree on than disagree on. I promise you that. That's why I love having a bunch of friends that we probably don't agree politically, but we always can find a common ground on something, because at the end of the day, we do want to see similar things get accomplished, right? So I recommend people, I know, like, y'all, if y'all not news buffs, but I do recommend watching all platforms, all affiliates, whether if it's left leaning affiliates or right leaning affiliates. You need to watch it all, because at the end of the day, we don't live in a world that's like just straight one color. We are a mixture of a little bit of everything here. So it's best that you watch all, get all your take, and see which one you align with the most, but still continue to watch all avenues. So again, to kind of close up things, y'all, Dallas mayor switches GOP level. My 2 cents is, why don't you do that once you are already finished with your term? Okay. If you want to rerun again, okay, then rerun as a Republican. But don't be in the position you already have the position now and then change your party. I just, to me, I look at that differently. I don't really care for that. But what I will say is that politics is always going to continue to change change throughout the years and all, throughout just everything. The journey of politics is always going to be, like a soap opera. So we will see how this goes. Again, y'all, I'm glad y'all are chopped it up and wanted to, tune into another great episode. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of the Arrington Gavin podcast. Here, coming to you with new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via YouTube. Okay. Also, you can tune in on our Facebook page, Our Smooth Club Podcast, to watch this, as well as on X at Our Smooth Club Media. Be sure to continue to support, subscribe our YouTube channel, hit the like button, all that great stuff. We truly appreciate it. Again, I am out. I'm going to continue to enjoy this beverage. Y'all stay blessed. Continue to support and continue to tune in every Sundays to my weekly radio show in your city. Okay. Hosted by myself and my brother, comedian Ciroc Fox, and our newest co-host, Michelle Young. I call her Hustle Queen, Michelle Young, on WNSB Hot 91.1 FM, the soul of VA. If you're not in the Hampton Roads area and you can't turn that radio dial to 91.1 FM, no worries. You can listen live on their website, WNSB.org, or you can download the free app, WNSB. You can listen to us live every Sundays, 12 p.m. again, in your city. Y'all take it easy. Y'all stay blessed. I'm out.